it's a really great lyric to me. It's a person who's very afraid, singing about not being afraid. And the thrill of it all. I can hear the calling of excitement. I can hear it all. And today's talk is called, What's So Thrilling About Being Scared? I thought in honor of Halloween, although this is certainly not a Halloween talk, because I don't have much to say about Halloween, but I thought it's a good time of year to talk about fear and what scares us. And the past couple of weeks, I've had a couple of weeks, let me tell you something. I started with David going away and them taking his phone away from him. And we talk a lot on the phone. And so it was his retreat. It was like me going to Vipassana. You don't have a phone for 10 days. And we're used to talking to each other. And so I had to go through withdrawal in many ways. And I didn't know how much I would miss him. And I did, and it left me very unsettled, which is a part of fear. You know, who am I now? If I'm not with what I'm used to, who am I? And so I walked through life, more carefully in footsteps. And I was doing a wedding that weekend, and I stayed in a hotel one night, and it's just a lot of change, over and over again, change. And then last Friday, I left for Virginia to speak at my friend Russell's church down in Unity Fairfax, which is lovely. But I have developed in my dotage here a new phobia. It started a year ago. It's a bridge phobia. I didn't know I had such a thing till a year ago. David and I were on our way to the airport on 59th Street, and what?
I didn't see.
Oh, okay. Good.
She has that too.
Oh, okay. And healer, you're supposed to take care of us. And we were driving across 59th Street Bridge to pick up Heidi for the retreat last year, and David suddenly says, I always forget how high this bridge is. And something snapped in me. Something weird snapped in me. And suddenly I was terrified driving over that bridge. I was like, my whole life I had not had that. Suddenly, I had that. And it's been itchy ever since. It's like a roller coaster going up the incline, which I don't do well. I close my eyes for those if I go on them at all anymore. Well, at the end of the New Jersey Turnpike, getting over the Delaware River, there's a very high bridge. And I was on the phone with my friend Joy, who I was ordained with many years ago, and I'm starting up this bridge. And panic ensued. And I thought, what do I do? What do I do? I mean, I just gripped the wheel. And I know the truth. Let's not kid it. I'm not trying to kid you. I know the truth. It's a wide bridge. There's no possible way to drive off that bridge unless somebody picks me up and throws me over. I mean, I couldn't intentionally drive off that bridge. That doesn't mean I couldn't unintentionally go insane on that bridge and start driving all over the place. And I was concerned about that. By the way, Jen, one thing you can always be assured of in a plane, it's going to go down. You're going to land. You're always going to make it back to the ground. So far. Anyway, so I'm on this bridge, and I'm in the center lane. I thought that'll make me feel safer rather than an end. And the tops of my hands started sweating. And I said, what do I do? And I'm praying. I'm not telling Joy my concern. We're having a normal conversation as if. But Spirit, tell me the truth. Spirit, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth about this bridge. Tell me the truth about all bridges, all heights, everything. Because it's one of those ones where you go up and you only see sky. Yeah. You don't know where it's going to end. And I'm going up, and I made it up. And going down was easy. I could see where I was going there. But that even now talking about it, and for a few days afterward, I was disconcerted. And then I'm staying in someone's home. I'm in a new environment. I'm still acting normally. And I had to laugh on Saturday night because I was speaking on Sunday morning. And I had a great day Saturday. Great, just a lovely day. I got to go to the back porch of the White House on Saturday. Russell and I were walking around Washington, D.C., and we came around the back end of the White House, and they're giving out tickets to the South Lawn to do a garden tour. Only 4 days a year do they open that. I've never been that close to the White House. And that's our history. And it was lovely. The Marine band's playing, and I could see where the pool was. I always wondered, where's the pool in the backyard? And now I know where. And so that was a lovely day. And then we're at dinner, and my host say, have you met Carolyn yet? No, who's Carolyn? Oh, she used to live here. She died before we bought the place. She tends to move things around. And it's like, really? Really? I don't walk around afraid of ghosts. I really don't. I don't tend to fear spirits, but I was tired. My sensitivity, I was lowered. My guard was lowered. So I was a little anxious that night. Not that I thought anybody would hurt me. It's the surprise factor that I have a hard time with. That somebody's suddenly going to come out and have a chat. And nothing came up, nothing moved, nothing happened. Nevertheless, then I went to Pennsylvania, and I see old friend in my hometown and everything. And then I came home and I saw David. And we've been working with other things with the church in the city. It's just a lot. It's a lot for me. And so I thought about this talk. What's so thrilling about being scared? Because it seems that a lot of life is scary things if you believe in the flesh. And then somebody said, don't you want to go see the movie Halloween? I saw that when I was 17 years old with that person I was in Pennsylvania with. And I said, absolutely not. That so wrecked my serenity when I was 17. I hadn't been that scared since I went to see The Exorcist at 12, which I had no business doing, and I snuck in, and that I was just getting over being afraid to be at home alone as a child, and that ruined that for a while. And I'm not afraid to be at home alone anymore. I like our house. It's easy to be at home alone. And I'm less afraid of entities in the world. Carolyn was a little because I got surprised by her, or by the thought of her. But what's so thrilling that we keep setting ourselves up to be afraid. We entertain the scary thoughts. We play them over. Well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what I've determined is that we get high from them. We get high, and it reconfirms our pretending that we are somehow separate from God. That we are somehow separate from our source. That we are somehow separate from joy. And that way we can say, see, I told you so. See, I don't have to get on board with this God thing. I don't have to, because life is awful, it's horrible, but I'm getting a rush. I'm getting a rush. I do this thing, and I'm alive. Oh, I ride a roller coaster. Oh, I'm alive. I'm thrilled. I'm just vibrant and alive. And we forget how alive we are in a simple chat, in a prayer time, in our meditation time. And because the flesh seems very real, doesn't it? All those sensations. You have a good meal. I've heard so many people tell me about a good meal, a scary flight, an argument. Rarely do I have anyone come up to me and say, I had the best meditation today. I had the best 5 minutes in the silence today. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, I don't hear that. I hear the traumatic stuff. One of my favorite things I used to hear, it was a very God thing. I said, really? What made it a God thing? How come everything isn't a God thing? Because it is. As you grow in understanding of the truth teachings, every moment is a God moment. Because with God as our source, there could be no not God moments. It's not, and I used to have a minister say, that's not God. And I thought, well, what is it? You just told me there is only one power and one presence as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotence, and now you're telling me there's not God. How can there be God and not God? I get it. There's what I like and what I don't like. I got a lot of preferences. And I got a lot of things that don't fit into my preference basket. But what am I going to choose? Am I going to choose fear? Am I going to choose love? And often within love, there is great fear. Many of us are afraid to love. We were taught that when you love, you get hurt. When you love, you are abandoned. When you love, the good is taken away. I've had, there's one person in my life. You remember Lucy and Charlie Brown? And she'd hold that football for Charlie Brown, and he'd go to kick it, and she'd take it away, and he'd fall down. I know some people think that. Say, oh no, Shawn, we're fine. Everything is fine. So you think you can have a chat, and then you find out you can't. Because they've just taken the football out and you fall down and they tell you how awful you are for what you've just said. And so, oh, I didn't know we were going to have that conversation. I thought we were just going to talk back and forth and express how we both think and feel. I didn't know it was I was being tested to see if I agreed or disagreed. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could all know that we absolutely love each other and are safe with each other even when we don't agree? The only way that can happen, though, is if we stop attacking. And we could be safe if we are attacked. See, it's not about them stopping to attack me. Stop attacking me. It's about me. Stop attacking myself. I have to abandon my thoughts that I have to attack myself because I don't love enough, because I don't think enough, because I'm not this, because I'm not that. What if, I can't, well, I'd rather use a different example than me. What if David came up to you? Well, you're the only one, honey. I feel safe enough using that example of that you won't come back at me later and say, why did you have to use me as an example? I prefer you not. Because you trust me enough to know. If David came up to you and said, I don't like you. I don't like your hair. I don't like your outfit. Suddenly it's, oh, David Friedman doesn't like my hair, doesn't like my outfit. Why would he say such a thing? Instead of, oh, David doesn't care for the way I look today, so what? Imagine, so what that David doesn't like the way I look? So what? I'm going to tell you my newest story of love. And it's sad and happy all at the same time. And I told it in the prosperity class a week ago. 2 weeks ago, I was in our kitchen. And there was schmutz on the refrigerator door. Because when David cooks and whatever, he puts his hand in this, and then he grabs the thing. He grabs handles and doors and stove, and he's not thinking. He's just doing what he does. And I saw it 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to cry. Not for the reasons you might think. And I said, David, come here and look at this. And it looked at it, he said, oh, I'm sorry, Shawn. I said, wait a minute. Here's what I want to tell you. For 16 years, I have told myself you didn't love me because there was schmutz on the refrigerator door. And I know today that can't be true. For 16 years, I was getting a rush out of thinking I wasn't loved over schmutz on the refrigerator door, or toast crumbs all across the kitchen floor, or
My trademark.
That had nothing to do with his love for me. My reaction had to do with my love for me. That it was me telling myself I wasn't loved. He never told me I wasn't loved, at least not for that. We've had other arguments over the years, but he never told me I wasn't loved, or even not worthy of love. He told me his preferences on how he wishes I would think or react. That's different than saying you're not lovable. I took it in a whole new way, because, the childhood stuff, and I thought I wasn't loved if I made a mistake, and I thought that. I don't know if anyone ever actually said, you are not loved because of this, but that's how I took it. And now we look at our world. We look at what's going on in the world, and we say, I'm not loved, because if I were loved, this wouldn't be happening. If I were loved, people I love wouldn't be hurt. If I were loved, people would vote a different way. If I were loved, I wouldn't have to react this way. But what if I was taught when I came into Unity, and I think before then even through New Thought books I had been reading, I am always loved and can't not be loved. What's more, I am made in the image and likeness of love, and therefore cannot not be loved. It is impossible to be not loved. Clearly, it's not impossible to not feel loved, or to feel not loved, to think not loved, But it is impossible. Do you know what a relief it is for me that if I see schmutz in my life, I no longer have to tell myself I'm not loved? Do you have any idea what a relief that is? Maybe you do. I hope you do. That you can start telling yourself about the schmutz in your life. It doesn't mean I'm not loved. It means I've been thinking I wasn't loved. I've been thinking it a lot. And without even paying attention to it, I have been unconsciously thinking I'm not loved. When I weigh myself. And let me tell you something, I'm not here to fat shame anybody. It's not about good or bad being fat. Let me tell you what it's about. It's hard on the knees. That's what I've discerned. It's not about good and bad. It's hard on the knees when I weigh too much. I don't hate who I see in the mirror weight-wise. I'm not wild about me when I walk up and down steps. But anyway, it's not about not being loved or lovable. I'm going to read a couple of things before we end here. If I were loved, they wouldn't have left that tambourine on the chair. That's the crazy things we think. No, that's an insane thought, Doug. It wasn't insane of you to leave it there. It's insane of me to think there's a problem. I can move a tambourine. And I did. I didn't hurl a tambourine. I moved it. Charles Fillmore, in The Revealing Word, says about fear. First he quotes Webster. Painful emotion marked by alarm, dread, disquiet. And then he says, fear is one of the most subtle and destructive errors that the carnal mind in person experiences. Fear is a paralyzer of mental action. It weakens both mind and body. Fear throws dust in our eyes and hides the mighty spiritual forces that are always with us. Isn't that a wonderful visual? Fear throws dust in our eyes and hides the mighty spiritual forces that are always with us. Blessed are those who deny ignorance and fear and affirm the presence and power of spirit. And then he writes, fear, how to overcome it. Fear is cast out by perfect love. To know divine love is to be selfless, and to be selfless is to be without fear. The God-conscious person is filled with quietness and confidence. And then Holy Spirit, in the Holy Spirit's interpretation, says, in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1, says, man walks in fear, or woman, person, walks in fear without knowing what it is that he or she is fearing. He or she makes decisions to avoid their fear, only he or she cannot turn away from that which he or she cannot see. Because person is blind to it, it follows them. Because it follows them, we continue to run and hide. Fear is a misperception. It is a misperception because there is nothing to fear. What man runs from is his imagination, and in his running, he imagines more. This is what Jesus taught. There is nothing to fear. This is a lesson you have become ready to accept. To live without fear is to live without imagining, and this is to stay in the now and in the heart of true desire. By keeping the mind in the now and in the true purpose of know thyself, there is no imagining, and so there is no imagining of fear. Whenever fear seems to come to you, ask, what am I doing now? You know, I'm here, I'm watching TV, I'm here, I'm driving over a bridge, I'm here, I'm thinking about fear, I'm here. You will see that you are imagining, and that you are imagining fearfully. Remind yourself that in imagining fearfully, you are creating your own misperception. Be willing to let go of this activity, and the action of creating fear is let go by you. And then up here in Matthew, chapter 14, it says, fear was made to keep you from joining with God. That makes sense to me. That's logical. Put your fear aside, and you will know miracles that will increase your faith. Even in your life on earth, you will know me, meaning Spirit. And so you will know it is me, or Spirit. And you will be more willing to walk toward Spirit. But first, you must give Spirit faith and trust. You must do as Spirit asks to know miracles at work in your life. It is fear that I want to talk to you about today. For fear can seem to be a very real obstacle on your path. Although I can help you with your fear, it is you that must overcome it. For it is your fear, and I cannot take that which is yours from you. You must willingly let go of your fear. You must choose God or Spirit or law or principle over it to know that it is nothing to keep you from Spirit. So, in our moving forward, let our awe, let our awakening, let our excitement and our thrill be what takes the voice of fear from us. Let us become so overjoyed, so thrilled with our source that there are no words to accurately describe it. Thank you.